Okay, I had a student ask me how to solve this problem. I thought it was kind of an interesting problem to do. Um, so this is basically a television station has 4 different time slots and 6 different programs that it needs to fit into those time slots. So, and these are the revenue you get if you pick a certain program for a certain time slot. So you might say, well, this one, this one, this one, this one, right? You might say, well, I'll use time slot 1 for program 3. And you add up all 4 of those, and that would give you your maximum revenue. I'm going to hit Control Z to get rid of that. But anyway, so you can only, for each program is only going to be able to go in 1 time slot, and each time slot is only going to have 1 program. So the problem is here, you have 6 programs in 4 time slots. So that differs from what I normally do, because usually you're going to, it's workers and something like that. But here you're going to actually have 2 programs that actually aren't going to be used. Okay, so let me show you how to solve this. This is actually pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this down into my solution area. And I'm also going to copy it down one more time. And instead of having numbers here, instead of having dollars, I'm going to put numbers here. And I'm going to either have a 0 or a 1. And a 1 will mean use that program in that time slot. Okay, so a 0 if you're not going to use that program, and a 1 if you're going to use that program. So, so we could say, just to guess, we'll just say 1 here. Let's go ahead and just format that as 0 places, right? So let's say I'm going to use that time slot, that time slot, that time slot, and that time slot. So this is where I'm guessing to begin with is time slot 1 is going to be program 2, time slot 2 is going to be program 3, or program 4, and so on. And we know if I sum this, I'm going to go here and hit auto sum. And I want to sum these 4. And remember, each program can only be used once. That's kind of assumed in this problem. So there should either be a 1 or a 0 in this sum column, right? And if you total it down here, also, of course, we don't want to sum that number, right? We just want to sum what's in here. Also, each time slot can only have 1 program. And the last thing we want to do, if we total this here, there can only be 4 programs used, right? So this has to be a 4, this has to be a 0 or 1, or this all has to be 1. All right, then the last thing we want to do is we want to calculate the revenue. Well, the revenue is very easy. We can calculate the revenue by using a program, Excel function called sum product. So I can equal sum product. And I want to take all of these revenues, and I want to go comma, and I can take them times whatever is in here. So, so that's the revenue. If I would actually, if this was what I thought my solution was, then that would be my maximum, right? If that was the best solution, that would be maximizing my revenue. So I can sit here and guess and try to figure it out, right? Now that's not going to work because now I have 2 programs in that time slot. So I can sit here and guess, but why not have Excel do it? So I'm going to use Solver. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go into Data, I'm going to go to Solver, and my objective, it says set objective. My objective is this, it's my revenue, and I want to maximize it. I want to maximizing by changing all the numbers in here. I want to guess numbers in here, okay? Then we have to add some constraints. Now we know this in here it's either going to be a 0 or 1. A 1 designates to use that time slot, and a 0 designates not to use it. So I could say it has to be an integer 0 or 1. So I could say I could add a constraint. I could say all of these have to be an integer. Add another constraint. They all have to be less than or equal to 1. Add another constraint. They all have to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so now I've made sure these are integers. So basically I'm saying I made it equal to 0, 1. Now all these, they also have to be less than or equal to 1. And they have to be greater than or equal to 0. Remember, they can either be a 0 or a 1 here. We know that, whoops. Let's go ahead and hit cancel. So now I have all these constraints in here. I didn't know what I was doing, so I wanted to make sure. I have to add 2 more constraints. I'm going to say that this has to equal to 4, right? Because we can only have four total programs. I'm going to add 1 last constraint. All those have to add up to, they have to equal to 1, because I can only have 1 program in each time slot. And if I go okay. Now I have a lot of constraints in there, but I'm just making sure, you know, everything works out, right? I want to make sure these are all 0s or 1s. So I said less than or equal to 1, greater than 0, and I also said integer. And then these will be integers automatically on the outside because I forced these to be integers. So this has to be less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to 0. This has to equal to 4, and all these have to equal 1. So now if I go solve, and go okay, and what happened? Hold on a sec. Let me try one more time. Solver, solve, okay. Okay, that was strange. Let me make them all 0s. Sometimes solver acts a little bit weird. Let's try it again. Solver, solve. There we go. So now I figured it out. So we know now that these are where our time slots should be, and it looks like everything is correct, right? There's 1 program for each time slot, and each program only has 1 time slot, and my maximum revenue is $3,500. Okay. So solver, I don't know if you notice that solver act a little bit weird. Sometimes I change these all to a 0. That way I kind of reset solver, and then I run it again. So now sometimes you can get more than 1 solution, right? There could have been another solution that equaled 3,500 also. So you don't really know if that's the only solution, but that's the solution that we came up with. Maybe if I change all these to 1s, let's try that. And go solve again. Data, solver, solve. And see, it still zeroed in on the same solution, didn't it? Okay. So anyway, hopefully that helped. I've done a similar video to this where it was 4. You know, where we did. This one is a little bit different, like I said, because 2 of the programs aren't going to use. Which program didn't we use? We didn't use program 1. We didn't use program 4, right? And you can see that those didn't have very high revenue in them, did they? So that kind of makes sense. All right, so my picture will come up here. If you want to subscribe to my video, click on my picture. If you like my videos, hit like and make some comments. I would like that too. Thanks for watching. Bye.